God is so gracious to us in the ways He utilizes what we might consider practical or normal things we are doing in life for a greater purpose. Basically, the efficiency with which God uses our lives for His purposes is miraculous. There's so many examples, but how about when the message on Sunday ends up being the very thing you have to deal with in the upcoming week? This divine efficiency has happened more times than I can count in my own life. But I just recently was doing an assignment for a class on evangelism, and something I would consider normal and uneventful. However, the same week I ended up in a conversation with a young man who asked some of the very exact questions we'd been discussing and answering in our class concerning the skepticism people have about the gospel. I was so thankful for what God had used immediately that was in my mind from this class. This past week, I was finishing up a reading assignment for class, and it was as if the professor had planned it to be a reading companion to our current sermon series. Point being, the sovereignty and grace of God are without bounds. In our process of spiritual formation, God is constantly using everything He has put into us in the most strategic, efficient, inexplicable ways to give Him the most greatest glory. When I say God is efficient with our lives, I mean God is not wasteful of anything if we will allow Him to be involved in every aspect of our lives. Everything we do can either be used by God or be useless. C.S. Lewis puts it this way: every time you make a choice, you're turning the central part of you, the part that chooses, into something a little different from what it was before. And taking your life as a whole, with all your innumerable choices, all your life long, you're slowly turning this central thing either into a heavenly creature or a hellish creature. I hope for you and I that we are becoming heavenly creatures, because everything we do in life is a process of spiritual development, formation, if you will. Our choices are either increasingly making us more like Christ, more able to be used by God, or increasingly destructive to the kingdom of God. The more available we are to Jesus, the more aware we are that He is able to use all things in our lives for His purposes, the more all things in our lives will be used for His purposes. That's not a linguistic trick or riddle. It's just the truth of the transformative power of the gospel. I want to encourage you to trust God with every area of your life. Be intentional about your time with God, and God will efficiently use the time you have in this life for His glory. I leave you with a quote from the book I suggest in this week's Live It email. Spiritual formation is a process of being formed in the image of Christ, a journey into becoming a person of compassion, a person who forgives, a person who cares deeply for others and the world, a person who offers themselves to God to become agents of divine grace in the lives of others and their world. In essence, a person who loves and serves as Jesus did.